Hello, everyone. My name's Emma. At 16, I earn a lot more money than my parents do. I have my own business, workers, all the adult and serious stuff, but despite all my success, my parents think I'm stupid. They say all my business schemes are dangerous for my life, and they refuse to take into account they've been witnessing my business growing and developing greatly for the last few years. However, I think you'll understand my story better if I start from the beginning, so make sure you watch this video to the end and don't forget to like it. Well, my grandma lives on her own farm. Of course, this farm hasn't been working very well for a long time, simply because my grandma is too old and she can't monitor the entire farm herself. And my parents don't care about working in the field and feeding animals, but I regularly went to my grandma's for summer holidays. And she often taught me some hands-on work. I didn't complain. My grandma's so cool. She had a beautiful apple orchard not far from the house. There was also a lake not far from her farm with fat and beautiful fish swimming there. There was a forest nearby where I liked to walk. Well, I often walked there with my grandma's two dogs. Of course, I couldn't go too far as I could get lost. And the dogs weren't there to create my image of a young lady. They were supposed to protect me from wild animals. Sometimes they attacked people. It was too dangerous to walk in the forest alone, but I didn't care. The main thing was that I could play and walk there as much as I wanted and do whatever I wanted. And it all started with the forest. One day, I was just hanging out somewhere on the edge of the forest. I decided it would be nice to collect some flowers for my grandma. All the neighbors always collected some beautiful bouquets and then they put them on their windowsills. But my grandma didn't even have a flower bed in her garden. Her hands were already too hard and stiff, and it was difficult for her to tinker with the soil. Well, I gathered some flowers which were very bright, beautiful, and colorful. I can hardly remember what flowers exactly now, but I know exactly what kind of fine my parents would have to pay for my vandalism. Good thing no one ever found out about it except, well, as I was walking home with my bouquet, a car with the license plates from a neighboring state passed me by. The tourists didn't bother me much, so I waited for them on the side of the road and I just let them drive by. But the car stopped. There was a young couple there, a young man and girl about 20. They got out of the car and went straight up to me. I thought I was going to be scolded or kidnapped. We had such incidents in our area a couple of times, but the dogs reacted calmly to the strangers. My dogs just sat next to me with their tongues stuck out. The couple came closer to me, and the guy suddenly asked me how much I wanted for my wonderful bouquet. I was so surprised I didn't immediately understand what he really wanted from me. And then I somehow blurted out that this bouquet for his beautiful girl would cost him $5. I suspected at this point he would freak out or something, but he laughed. Then he pulled out his wallet and really paid me $5. I gave him the bouquet, he handed it to his girlfriend, and they drove off. It was strange. I got $5 for my bouquet, and this was my first experience in sales, but I decided not to stop there. I went back to the forest, collected another beautiful bouquet for my grandma. She was very happy. Then me and my grandma talked. I told her my story and my business idea. She explained to me that picking flowers in the woods was a bad idea, but we could plant a couple of flower beds in the backyard of the house if I wanted. Then we would sell it to people who wanted some flowers, and it was a great idea, especially because I already had the initial capital to buy some seeds. Me and my grandma went to the store and used my $5 to buy some seeds. So for the rest of the summer, I sowed, fertilized, and watered my flower beds. As a result, I sold all the beautiful flowers and bouquets to the tourists for $150. And that's how my business started, and everyone was happy. My grandma was happy because I was always busy with work. I was tinkering with the soil and it somehow related to farming. I was happy because my work brought me a good income. I was okay with the fact I had to work hard for it. My parents were just happy because I had a great time. They didn't know I already acted like a businessman at the age of 7. Later on, I worked on my grandma's farm, growing flowers every summer. Every year, my flower beds got bigger and bigger, and thus my income increased. I spent most of the money on buying some gardening tools and stuff. So my grandma gave me a gift for my 11th birthday. She installed a couple of greenhouses on her site and hired a worker to help me with my flowers. And things went even faster. By 13, I already had my own business. Of course, most of the work was done by the hired workers. My grandma was engaged in contracts and deliveries. I was responsible for the main work, marking, planting, collecting bouquets. And I don't know how my grandma negotiated with people, but they started to sell my bouquets in several supermarkets and flower shops in the area. Now my business continues to grow. I brought out some new and rare varieties of flowers in a separate experimental greenhouse. I have a catalog of seeds. I deal with suppliers and do whatever is necessary for my business. my salary starts at $20,000 a month, which is exactly $5,000 more than both my parents earn together. I have an Instagram account with thousands of followers. You think I'm bragging? I'm not, because all I have now is the result of my hard work. My hands knocked down, my knees are worn out, and I have constant bruises from some particularly thorny bushes. I didn't have any fun in my childhood like other kids. I worked hard, and I loved it. Seems like my life is just fine if it weren't for one big but. My parents. No matter what I did, no matter how successful I was in what they thought was just my hobby, they thought my hard work was just monkey business. It was just an entertainment for kids that had nothing to do with real work. They were always telling me I would grow up and understand everything myself. It was their favorite tune, but I wouldn't listen to it. I already realized flowers were my vocation, no matter how snobbish it may sound. I was made for it, and I was ready for it. I wanted to live on a farm all my life, give people beauty with my flowers, to grow something with my own hands and admire the result. Unfortunately, my parents think my future is a real nightmare, because they'd planned another future for me long ago. They drew a beautiful picture of me wearing an expensive black Armani suit, sitting in a glass office at a huge desk, running a corporation, or doing some accounting, or doing some other boring things. The main thing for them was the office in the city business center. Anyway, they wanted me to be just like them. In their opinion, I should finish high school with the highest possible scores ever, go to some prestigious college, take care of my appearance, get a beautiful manicure and makeup from some posh beauty salons, and so on. Wear skirts, wear suits, wear high heels, work on the latest MacBook, wear fashionable hairstyles, smell good of perfume. That's what my parents imagined for me. And I don't want any of that. Okay, I'm not against higher education. The thing is, I wanted to learn something useful, like marketing, horticulture, agriculture, or economics. That would be very helpful. After all, my grandma won't be able to do all the paperwork for me and negotiate with people. One day, I would have to sign contracts and negotiate with my big customers by myself. But I don't see myself sitting in a fancy glass office, wearing a manicure and makeup at all. My future is to work on the farm, with my flowers and greenhouses. I want to expand my product line and start growing healthy vegetables. And anyway, now I plan to totally restore my grandma's farm, as it's too old and needs renovation. But my grandma supports me. She'd been living on a farm all her life, as her parents did, and their parents did, and so on. I might say this is kind of a family business. Moreover, my business is highly profitable, and I'm dreaming of opening several more businesses and greatly expanding. But my parents are horrified when we talk about my plans. And they don't care that this is my life and my choice. For both of them, digging in the soil and growing something is just something they can't understand. But the thing is, they just don't want to. They can't imagine their only daughter being a simple farmer in a flannel shirt and a ponytail, with eternal dirt under her fingernails. I'm not fitting into their perfect image of me they'd drawn in their minds. Even money isn't a tenet for them. I already earn even more than both of them. I pay for my own life. I don't ask them for money. I pay my bills. I buy different things for our house. Recently, I fully paid for the renovation in our house. I even bought my parents a 2-week holiday at the ocean, in a 5-star hotel, by the way. But they keep saying I'm doing some ridiculous stuff which isn't worth spending time on. And I don't know what to do with them. I'm tired. My parents even wanted to ban me from doing my flower business. They just said I would never go to my grandma's again and it would all get ruined. It was the first time I was really glad all the documents and contracts were issued in my grandma's name, and my crazy, stupid parents couldn't destroy everything me and my grandma had been creating for so long. I even had to go to court once. I really didn't want to do this, but I couldn't let my parents control me and my life. Now, we have a real war in our house. Me and my grandma against my mom and dad. No one has won yet, but it's a real nightmare to live like this. I mean, in constant quarrels and scandals. I hope one day my parents will understand my choice and allow me to do what I love. Write in the comments what you think of the story. Click the like button if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell button to always stay tuned and never miss new episodes. Bye!